Hello, welcome back to my channel. First and foremost, I want to say shout out to the late great Nipsey Hussle. This man has been a phenomenal impact on his community. You know, it's insane to see someone of our generation, you know, do so many great things at such a young age. We need to continue his legacy by promoting ourselves in a more positive light, investing in our communities, and, you know, just pursuing our own dreams and our own entrepreneurial goals. So let's just pray and keep his family in prayers. Now, I have never met the man a day in my life. I don't know him personally, but for some reason his death just like really touched me, and it just hit me a certain, you know, a different way than it would if it was someone else. So let's just keep his you know, his family in prayer. With all of that being said, you guys, I'm gonna go into this pregnancy update postpartum video, because as some of you may know, if you follow me on Snapchat or if you follow me on Instagram, you guys know that I did give birth. I had my little girl on March the 9th, actually the day after I uploaded my last pregnancy update video, which was the 37-week update. So if you're interested in, you know, seeing my progress and listening to my birth story, my delivery story, then please stay tuned. Okay, so you guys, I'm gonna try to keep this update video condensed because I know that pregnancy updates and birth story, delivery stories can be a little drawn out. I do want to share my experiences with everyone, but at the same time, I don't want to go all the way down the damn rabbit hole, if you get what I'm saying. So I want to start by sharing with you guys that I was very, very uncomfortable the last few weeks of my pregnancy. Give me just a second. I was very, very uncomfortable the last few weeks of my pregnancy. Right after my baby shower, that's when things kind of just went downhill for me. The next appointment that I had after my baby shower, I was actually checked. That was my 35-week appointment, and I was already 3 centimeters dilated. I was very uncomfortable. I was having like really, really bad sciatica, like pain, back pain in my lower back, and it was just unbearable to walk. I mean, mind you guys, I'm still, you know, out trying to like live life. I'm still trying to, you know, be a mom, a wife, take care of this house, you know, take my son to school, you know, etc. So it was just very difficult to just do daily things. It would be times when I just did not want to get up out of the bed in the morning. And I know that when you're pregnant, you kind of should be taking it easy anyway, but you know, for me, I kind of like to get up and go and get it done. I don't like to just waste time like that. So it would just be days where I just did not want to get out of the bed. I did not want to do anything, like just lay there all day. And I remember after making my 37-week update video, I barely wanted to get up and make the video, just in general. And y'all, when I tell you, it was just so hard and so difficult for me. It was just that was like an understatement, but I went ahead and did it. I just made myself do it, and I'm glad I did it, because y'all wouldn't have known what the hell was going on with me. But like I said, for those of you who follow me on social media, on my Instagram and my Snapchat, you guys do know that I did have baby girl. So what is it, today is April. Today is April the 10th. I gave birth on March the 9th. So it really started March the 8th. After actually I uploaded the video, I went to the hospital because I was just like, I was actually laying in the bed. I was laying in my bed, and I went to the hospital. My husband convinced me to go because I was just having like some small minor contractions, and my mucus plug started to come out. If y'all don't know what that is, y'all can go look that up. But it's basically, the mucus is like a barrier that keeps the baby in. It's like the barrier that is in your cervix that divides the, you know, womb from the outside world. I don't know if I can make sense of that, but y'all go look that up. Google it. My mucus plug started to come out, and you know, it wasn't a lot, but you know, it was more than normal. So I went to the hospital. They checked me and everything, and I was still at 3 centimeters dilated. And I was like kind of glad that they sent me home, because I just really wasn't. Y'all know I wanted an Aries. I did not want my baby to be born under the Pisces sign. If you're a Pisces, don't come for me. I just, you know, that's just what I wanted. I wanted an Aries. So I was so excited that they sent me home. I was glad that I wasn't really going into labor, no signs of labor. And I actually mentioned that in my 35-week update, my 37-week update video, that my doctor, when she actually checked my cervix to see how dilated I was, I told you guys that that was the most painful one that I actually had. So I don't know if that triggered something, but I went back on the 9th. It was 9 o'clock in the morning, you guys. I kid you not. Me and my husband are in the bed. He was actually off that day, and this is a Saturday. And I was in the bed, laying in the bed, and that day, for some reason, I just could not get out of the bed. I normally get up and fix me a cup of coffee, maybe like fix some breakfast or something, eat some breakfast, not that much, an egg or something like that. And for some reason this morning, I just did not want to get out of the bed. So I decided to take a little nap. He went out and ran some errands, and you know, went to some family house, and I was in the bed laying down, and for some reason I just felt like I was a little bit wet, like my panties. I know that might be TMI, but this is a delivery update. This is a birth delivery update story. So my underwear was a little wet than I normally was. You know, like when you're pregnant, you are more moist than normal. You're gonna have to wear like a panty liner or something down there. But this day, for some reason, I just felt myself being a little more moist than normal. And I'm laying in the bed, so it's not like I'm, you know, up and, you know, I'm gushing everywhere or anything like that. And mind you, my water did not break when I had my first child, my son. So I don't know anything about that. I didn't know anything about that. So I get up, I go to the bathroom. I'm actually talking to my mom on the phone. I get up, I go to the bathroom, and I just decide, you know, to just change my underwear, because it was wet, but it wasn't like that wet, like soaking wet. So I was like, well, maybe I just, you know, became a little bit more moist than normal. And prior to the day before, the nurse did actually mention to me that if my water breaks, even if it's just a little bit, even if I'm not in pain, to come to the hospital. And mind you, I was not in pain, you know, so, and I did not think that my water had broke. But I got up and changed my underwear and was about to carry on my day. I was like, let me just get up and go ahead and just carry on with my day. So I got up, and as soon as I changed my underwear, I felt more water gushing out, y'all. And I was like, okay, my water is definitely breaking. I told my mom, I said, Mom, I believe my water just broke. And she's like, go to the hospital. So I called my husband, and I'm still sitting on the toilet at this point, because I did not know that when your water breaks, it's not just a one consistent gush. It's it's like a series of water coming out of you, so that sac leaking. So I'm sitting on the toilet, and I call him and I tell him, I said, okay, I don't want you to panic, I don't want you to freak out, but I think my water just broke. So he comes home, and he is like, let's go. And I'm still sitting on the toilet because my water is still breaking. And you know, I wanted to take a bath and, you know, kind of shave a little bit and get neat down there. You know, I didn't want to go to the hospital looking all kind of wild. So my water started to slow down a little bit, and I go and take a shower, I shave, I get my bags packed. I'm like looking around the house trying to get last minute things, because I know that if I go to this hospital and indeed my water has broken, I will not be able to come back home. So he's like, let's go, we got to go. And I'm like, wait, I got to get this. He said, forget that, we got to go to the hospital, let's go. So I get to the hospital, And I am basically, I tell her that my water is breaking. I go to labor and delivery, and I tell them that I think my water has broke. And she kind of like wanted to assess me for a minute, like, how do you know your water is broke? Do you think that, you know, when your water breaks, you know, it's not just one gush, it's like little bitty gushes over time. So I hate that I'm using these choices of vocabulary, but this is all I can think about at this minute. But just y'all know how it is. It's okay. So she gives me a hospital gown. She tells me to like get undressed and all of that. And this time, instead of going to observation like I did the day before, she actually puts me in a labor and delivery room. So I'm like, okay. And at this point, I'm like, okay, maybe it's just I'm wet. I'm just moist down there, and they're gonna send me back home. And you know, it's gonna be fine. I'm gonna come back in another week, because y'all, like I said, I did not want to have my baby that early. And she tells me to get undressed, and I get in the bed, and she's like, well, I'm gonna just check you to see if you're dilated anymore, and we're also gonna see if in fact your water has broke. So she checks me. I'm still 3 centimeters dilated, and she also does some kind of like test to see if this is amniotic fluid, and it came back negative, which means that it wasn't amniotic fluid. So I'm like, okay, I'm finna go home, baby. I'm hungry anyway. I had not eaten anything that day, so I am starving. And she's like, well, we're just gonna wait at least an hour, and you know, if everything is okay, then we'll just send you home. Y'all, when I tell you, as soon as she does that test to check if in fact my water did break, I just started gushing everywhere, like leaking everywhere, and I'm in the hospital bed now. So she's like, well, I'm gonna go back and do the test again and see if this is your water breaking, because sometimes it could be like different things. I don't know. At this point, I don't even know what other things she could possibly be talking about. But she does the test again, and it actually comes back positive that in fact my water did break. And you know, it's still gushing. And at this point, she puts this green this green cloth up under me to see like what's coming out, and I'm actually seeing the vernix, which is the stuff that's the sticky white stuff that's on the baby's skin when they're born. I'm actually seeing that stuff come out. So she's like, we're admitting you're in labor. We're gonna get you Pitocin started. And y'all, I was all for drugs, anesthesia, because when I had my son, I did not have time for all of that. So I actually had to have him without drugs. I did not get an epidural, and that shit hurt. And I was not like about to go through that again. So I'm admitted. I signed the paperwork and everything like that. I'm admitted, and she starts my Pitocin. It's like, at this point, it's like it's like 11 o'clock in the morning, and she started my Pitocin, and she starts it off like really low. Like I'm getting like the lowest amount of Pitocin that it is. You know, they put me on the IV. I actually did come back for strep B, it's like the little test that they do to check to see if you have something called strep B, and I didn't have it, but I did come back as a carrier, so I did have to get antibiotics as well in my IV. So I have the IV fluid going, I have the Pitocin going, and I have the antibiotics. So that's 3 different types of fluid that's going through my IV. And when I tell you that shit was cold, I was freezing, it was not a game. So you know, time progresses, and you know, she kind of ups my Pitocin a little bit more. I'm hooked up to the monitor. We can hear the baby's heartbeat. You know, my heartbeat is also hooked up to it, and you know, everything's good. You know, family is coming in to see me and checking on me and all of that good stuff. And at this point, the way that I went in labor, she would not allow me to get up, because I did want to have a labor where I could get up and sit on the ball and, you know, kind of walk around a little bit. I didn't want to be tied to a bed like I was the first time. So this is around maybe 3-4 o'clock in the afternoon, and this is actually a day before daylight savings time. So it's getting darker. It's not as dark as it's been getting, but it's getting kind of dark outside, and I am like ready to get up. I had enough of getting out of that bed, and she reminds me to not get out of the bed. So I'm still in the bed and I'm still uncomfortable, and I'm just like, oh my God, I need to get up. I just need to get up and sit up for just a second. So I sneak and get up just a little bit, and she comes in, I guess because she can hear the monitor, and she's like, if you don't get back in that bed, I know something. Because I was like, I needed to get up. I could not. I was very active during my pregnancies, both my pregnancies actually, and I just did not want to sit down in no bed. I wanted to be free. I actually had like a birth preference. I made myself like a birth chart where I wanted, the way I wanted my birth to go, and you know, being able to move around and not be attached to IV and stuck in a bed was one of the biggest things that I wanted. So I was actually not able to get up. She told me that somehow, some kind of way, the way my baby was positioned and how my water had broke, because it hadn't completely broken yet. She said the way that my baby was positioned, it could have caused me to have something, I forgot what it was, but it was a very serious. Basically, she told me that if my baby got into a position, considering that my water hadn't fully broken and it was already, you know, my amniotic sac and everything was leaking, that I could have went into a distress, and I could have had an emergency C-section. I feel like that was kind of bullshit, but you know, I didn't want to take any chances. So I just decided to think that, you know, hey, she is the professional. I'm gonna give her the benefit of the doubt, and I'm not gonna take any chances on that. So I'm just gonna lay my ass back down in this bed and just deal with it. So they ended up just coming in there and trying to like make me more comfortable, give me some pillows. That didn't work. It was just, I just wanted to get up, y'all. I just wanted to walk around. So at this point, she ups my Pitocin. Her shift is about to change, so you know, she just says goodbye to me. Hopefully, you know, your labor, you know, you'll go more in depth. This is like 7 o'clock at this point, and I still am not any more dilated. I'm still at 3 centimeters. I haven't dilated any. I was like at 3.5 centimeters or something. So she ups my Pitocin, and I start having contractions, y'all. Ooh. And if you know what a contraction feels like, it is not a game. Like, I'm actually starting to have painful contractions. They're like a minute apart, and I'm in this hospital bed, and I can't move around. I can't stretch my legs. I can't get up and, like, you know, kind of get comfortable. With my first child, I did have contractions before we went to the hospital, and I was able to kind of take a bath and kind of control it a little bit before I went to the hospital, which is probably why I didn't get an epidural, because I waited so long. So and all throughout my pregnancy, all throughout, you know, my doctor's visits, I reminded my doctor that I did not want to miss out on getting an epidural. I was for sure wanting to get an epidural. So they kept that in mind, and this is around maybe 7 o'clock. They're like, okay, we're gonna be in here all night. They didn't think that I was gonna dilate as quickly as I did, y'all. When I started having those contractions, I think I went from like a 3.5 to like a 5.5, like really quick. And then I went, you know, when you get to 5, you kind of have to go ahead and get the epidural. So after I got the epidural, oh my God, when I tell you, my labor went by, like the contractions, it felt so good because I was just numb all the way down and I couldn't feel anything, and I was able to kind of get some rest. I was a little cold still, but it was awesome. My husband could not watch me get the epidural. He was just like, I can't do this, because I actually moved the first time they stuck the needle in and they had to do it again. And I don't know why I moved. Like, I think it was like, because they do put numbing, like a numbing solution, and feel it, but for some reason I felt like my nerves, like the sciatica or something, I felt like that pulsing, and it scared me, y'all. I was like, what is that? And my husband was like, I ain't finna be up in here. Y'all can do it. I'm not. So after they gave me the epidural, I was great. I was like talking and just so comfortable and just like relaxed. And after I got the epidural, this is like 7, 8, y'all, I dilated like, because I could not feel them contractions, and it was just like, okay, whatever. So it is like 9 o'clock and they check me, and I am like maybe 8 centimeters dilated at this point, and they can actually feel the baby's head. So it was like any minute now we're getting ready to have her. So my baby was born at 10:44, so around 10:40 they come in and get me set up, put my legs in stirrups, and I pushed her out 2 times and she was out, y'all. She was 5 pounds and 6 ounces. Oh, she was so little bitty thing. And it was just off the chain, you know. It was just amazing to like be able to, you know, give birth and actually be able to enjoy it. So at this hospital, they are strongly like, they believe in breastfeeding, and I did the skin to skin, and the first 24 hours she was in the room with me. They did everything in the room, which is what I really wanted. We did the delayed cord cutting. And if you don't know what the benefits are to that, go check that out. Go Google it. What else did we do? And I just started breastfeeding. You know, it was great. She latched on like a champ. My son did not at all. But it was just an awesome experience. I actually hated to leave the hospital because, I mean, when you have people like coming in there 24 hours a day asking you if there's anything that you need, what can I do for you, it's kind of like, yes, boo, I don't want to go home. So she was born a tad bit, she was preterm, she wasn't full term. And she was little. So in the beginning, we kind of got, it was just really difficult to try to get her to eat as much as she needed to, because she was so little. And y'all, I didn't have any ripping, no tears. I'm thankful for that, because I got toe up the last time with my son. My son ripped me from front to back. So I am so happy for that. And I'm doing well. I'm doing great. I am, you know, I feel like I am progressing well. I forgot to mention that, you guys, she did have jaundice, so we did have to go back to the hospital for like 2 days. But it was basically because she wasn't eating enough. I was exclusively breastfeeding at first. I wanted to breastfeed like exclusively, and I was so disappointed because I just wanted to breastfeed, but I was not making enough milk for her. I ended up supplementing formula, and she's kind of plumped up. She's now 7 pounds 2 ounces, so she's doing very well with the eating. But I'm still breastfeeding, but just not exclusively. And eventually I do kind of just want to wean off of breastfeeding. I want to pump if I can and store some milk, but I don't want to obsess over it, you guys. I kind of want my body back. You know, don't come for me if you're like all for breastfeeding and you're just like, oh, blah 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 blah. It's just my decision. It's what I choose to do. I really just want my body back. I don't want to feel like I'm attached to my child all day long, and you know, that's just, you know, my preferences. So I'm still breastfeeding, like I said, and I want to try to do it as long as I can. But eventually, I mean, I don't plan on doing it for a full year, that's for sure. But eventually I do want to kind of like maybe 4 or 5 months. That's like the max if I decide to go that far. But yeah, you guys, she's doing really well. I'm going to show you guys her in a minute, but she's doing really well. She's growing, she's just eating, she's healthy, she's beautiful baby girl. My son is in love with her. He's always in her face. They just, you know, they're just like, oh, he's so in love with her, and I'm just so thankful and so blessed to be able to just have beautiful children, healthy babies, and to be able to have, you know, experienced having them. Am I gonna have any more kids? Right now we're good. I don't want to say that I'm not, because I said that the first time, but I'm enjoying this right now. I'm in love with just having 2. It's a lot, y'all. I haven't been getting a lot of sleep. Today is the first day since my baby shower, which was like in February, since I've worn makeup and actually done something to my head. So yeah, it's been real. It's been real. It's been poop. It's been 2 a.m. feedings. It's been piss. It's been breast milk dripping everywhere. It's been real, and I'm gonna keep it straight up 100 with you guys. I'm not here for the joking. As far as losing weight, I am definitely ready to get back into the gym, like full force. I'm just like I'm about 4 weeks postpartum. I'm 4 weeks postpartum today, so I have about 2 more weeks until my doctor's appointment, so she can give me clearance and I get everything looked at and everything, the big okay, thumbs up to go and do what I need to do. But I'm ready. I'm ready to get back in the gym. I have about maybe a good 30 pounds to lose. I'm ready to just kind of like go in there and take it slow. I'm ready to kind of mold my body to be the way I want it. I'm excited. I know how to lose weight. I'm not worried about getting the weight off at all because I know how to do it. I've lost way more weight than this before. I'm just trying to just slowly get in there. I'm not trying to rush. I just want to enjoy this postpartum period. Depression, yes, I still struggle with postpartum depression, and mainly that's because I've kind of been stuck in the house and haven't been able to go anywhere, which is one of the reasons why I kind of want to like slack up. Like I like the supplementing with the formula thing, because it was just depressing me, and I just felt like maybe that stress was kind of keeping me from producing milk. I did buy supplements. I did the pumping. I've tried a lot of different methods of how to produce breast milk, but I think it's just really all about how you feel, how eager you want to do it, and like if you're stressing about something, you're gonna like tense up. I do notice that when she cries, my breast milk seems to kind of come out like I leak, and that's kind of like an issue at night when she is like hungry and she wants to eat. Yeah, so we're working on that, but for right now we're doing good. Without further ado, I'm gonna show you my little princess. So you guys, this is Nala Elizabeth Carter. Her name is Nala and her middle name is Elizabeth, but we are just in love with her, you guys. She is just the most cutest thing in the world. Say hi, Nala. Say hi, Nala, Nala boo. We just love her to death. And she loves to eat, you guys. She enjoys food. As we do, we enjoy food too. She's looking dead at me. Or you want to fake now. But this is baby girl. Hi, Nala boo. But she is a blessing, you guys. We did not expect her at all, because when I found out that I was pregnant, I was like 20 weeks pregnant, basically 17 weeks, somewhere in there, and she was just a complete surprise. Like I said, I did take the Plan B pill, and she's fine. She doesn't have any problems or anything like that. She can hear, she can see. She cries, she's got lungs, so she's good, and so I don't think that had any effect on her, obviously. They do say that if you're already pregnant, then it shouldn't work, which I don't understand, but okay, God gave her to me for a reason, so I'm gonna just take that as a win. So I hope that you guys enjoyed my labor and delivery story. I'm thankful that I have been able to do this, because I did not do this with my son. So I'm just glad that I'm able to go back, and she can go back and look at these videos, and when she's a grown up, and she can just see how everything went down, how she got here. So this is my Pisces princess. She is a month old and 1 day today. So yeah, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to thumbs up, like, and subscribe. And remember, there is no change without challenge.